Welcome to All Nighter with David Drew, Princeton's first and only late-night talk show. While we encourage you to laugh your ass off, please keep in mind that you are a studio audience, so please refrain from disrupting inappropriately. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our generous sponsors. All Nighter with David Drew is made possible by Never Been Kissed, the award-winning movie about Adam Mastroianni's life. Murad and Colonial Club's All Cocaine Fiesta. Circumcision. Get that shrink wrap off your penis. Lisa Kudrow. Princeton's Deans, especially Dean Dunn, Dean Rapalai, and Dean Latifa. Thank you, and now welcome out your all-nighter host, David Drew!
Welcome to the third ever episode of All Nighter with David Drew. I'm your host, David Drew. Now, sadly, the bus is full of Rutgers girls had to cancel, but we still have a great show for you guys tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some great sketches. We got some jokes. We got 2 Christmas trees. It's just a lot of old-fashioned holiday fun. And you know, just as Santa Claus, when he comes down the chimney, is going to bring you one of those new Furbies, and then you're going to accidentally leave it in your closet because they have like a freakishly long battery life, and then it'll like wake you up at midnight and be like, Furby. Just as Santa will give that gift to you, we're giving you the gift of some awesome guests tonight. Way less traumatic, hopefully. For one, we've got Sergeant Sean Ryder here from P-Safe, from Public Safety. So Sergeant Ryder's going to talk about public safety's role on campus, the dangers of high-risk drinking, being life on patrol, also being British. He's British. Fun fact. Then we're going to follow things up with Mr. Alec Egan, who is the president of Cap and Gown Club, as well as president of the ICC, not the International Criminal Court, but the Inter-Club Council, the governing body for all of the clubs on Prospect Street. So we're going to talk about how the club system is changing, what the ICC actually does, and awesome stories from Alec's past year as Lord of Cap and Gown. Then we're going to bring out 8 other eating club presidents, and we're going to talk about, have some fun and games and see how well they know the street and how well they know their clubs. Finally, we're going to wrap things up with our talent performer this evening. He's a good friend and a hilarious comedian. His name's Dan Abramowitz. Fun fact, also, he, you know those Love and Lust in the Bubble series that the Prince runs? He wrote all of those. They act like it's different people, it's just all Dan. Now, another big part of the show that we do is we try and keep you guys up to date. In order to do this, we're going to need to bring out, the Adam. He's the Adam.
That's what they call me.
How are you? How you been?
I'm okay. I honestly have 2 exams in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But they can suck my dick. Let's do a motherfucking show.
Wow. All right. Wow. After that statement of aggression, we're gonna have to take it down a bit because not that much has really happened since our last show. We had a show in November. Not too much of note to really point out. There have been some good movies. There have been some really good movies coming out. A new James Bond movie, Skyfall. Yeah, it's really stirred things up. I messed up the joke. I'm sorry, it's really shaken things up at the box office. Hey! It has left the box office shaken, not stirred. Lincoln came out. So finally glad that we got a sequel to the Matthew McConaughey classic, The Lincoln Lawyer.
I'm just thrilled that we finally get a biopic about Lincoln Park.
Yeah, and
they need their story told.
I didn't know. It's riveting. And also, really insight into the corporation LinkedIn.
Yeah.
The business social networking site LinkedIn.
That's not what the movie's about.
It's about a president. But you know, honestly, this movie it's a biopic about one of our most famous presidents, President Taylor. Anyway, the message from Lincoln has really struck a chord with people. So much that actually congressional leaders Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell have decided to host a screening of it for all of Congress. They're going to bring all of Congress together and going to watch it because nothing can go wrong from showing a really highly dysfunctional Congress that past actions that another highly dysfunctional Congress has taken can't backfire. It'll be great. Oh, what else has happened these days, Adam? Well, the debt ceiling. Or not the debt ceiling, fiscal cliff.
Fiscal cliff, debt ceiling, the red line carpet. I took an economics 101, all right? I know what I'm talking about.
It's the real scientific terms. This fiscal cliff seems to be a big issue. Congress can't really decide on ways to avert this measure that would trigger huge defense cuts and huge entitlement cuts. It would piss off both sides. It'd be horrible. But at the same time, oh, golly, lost the punchline there. So, it's, when you start out a joke about the congressional budget, it's sort of, there's only so much further you can fall. We'll switch to campus news. The things that happened on campus. Now we've had a change in USG leadership. Shawan Jackson defeated Benny Wagstaff in the USG presidential election. Adam, we were running. We did not win.
Technically, we weren't running. Probably the biggest thing that hurt our campaign.
We had so many ideas.
Also, I made some racist remarks to the press for no reason. I called them. That really hamstrung us. From then we were sunk.
Other big news on campus, news that's actually made international headlines. So Justice Scalia spoke here yesterday. In an address at Richardson, he talked about his theory of constitutional interpretation and sort of how he thinks the Constitution should work. But during the question and answer session, a freshman, Duncan Hosey, stood up and challenged Justice Scalia about his positions on comparing judging the morality of homosexual acts to judging the morality of murder or bestiality. And so this scandal is really going to hurt Scalia. Just kidding, he's appointed for life. Nothing we can do to get him out of there. But it's drawn huge attention to an issue. This freshman Duncan has been on. He was on MSNBC. He's been on Huffington Post. He's gotten a lot of media attention. Not to be outdone, Justice Scalia has landed the cover of Man Boob Quarterly. So he's
to be fair, this is his 6th cover.
He's like Mr. Man Boob of the century. Yeah. So now, speaking of international news, Syria. You guys heard about Syria? Yeah. Fighting is continuing there. Rebels are progressing towards Damascus, and they're looking maybe to take it. In news there, the U.S. has actually conferred recognition upon the coalition of rebel groups that are trying to take Damascus away from President Bashar al-Assad. When asked, what is this really going to do for the rebel movement, the U.S. pointed to their track record of success in picking winning coalitions in Panama, Iraq, Afghanistan, Cuba, pre-communist China, Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's a storied history there. So
we won all of those, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, great.
Totally. Now, most of the things that we want to talk about are things that are gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we have these, we are actually taking sort of a break. So we don't have a January show, and then we're coming back February 22nd. So we've got a lot of time to cover.
Yeah.
And I figure we can cover some of it now. If we know.
Okay, so there's all the drinking holidays over winter break.
Right. So there was Drinksgiving before Thanksgiving.
Right. So when we go home, of course, there's Hanukkah, Blitzmas.
New Year's Eve or clear.
Yeah. Of course, it's followed by Spew Year's Day.
It's gonna be.
Though I myself always look forward more to spring break when I personally, as a Christian, celebrate Jägermeister.
Dean's Date's gonna happen. Generally, turns out people actually complete their papers.
Yeah. There will be much wailing and gnashing of teeth, but it'll happen.
Like 9 times out of 10, people are like, I'm not gonna finish it. They do.
They do.
Like, don't actually worry about it. Exams canceled.
Really?
That will be announced.
Okay.
I stake my legitimacy as a talk show host upon it. So
Your considerable legitimacy.
my considerable, yeah.
With your dorm desk and your homemade sign.
I am the Scalia of talk show hosts making predictions. So after that, President Obama will be re-inaugurated.
Yeah.
So not too much surprising there, except for the 5-second open mouth kiss with Scalia. Unanticipated.
The mounting sexual tension just.
It had to come to a head.
The thing is, though, open mouth doesn't necessitate tongue. So.
Yeah, it could have just.
As far as I understand kissing. Which is purely observation.
Yeah. There are books about it.
Yeah.
And then finally, Bicker. Bicker will have happened by the time of our next show. So we're all in cottage now.
Weirdly enough, that's how multi-club bicker works.
Yeah,
everyone's in cottage.
That is the default result. So, one thing we didn't talk about that actually has happened was formals.
Yeah.
Formals was a lot of fun. It's such we have such a strong sense of tradition here, and it's these formals have been around for centuries, practically.
Have they?
Roll with me, Adam.
Okay.
And each year we get to dress up, enjoy each other's company, have a nice meal, drink fancy drinks responsibly. I had a great time at formals, and I know, just as my grandfather who didn't go here, he would have enjoyed them. And I think my grandson will too.
Yeah, but will he though?
It's a hypothetical. It could happen.
Well, I wasn't sure, so with a little help from our biggest fan, Joe Ramirez from Otis, he bought us a time machine.
That seems like that's like a big expense.
Yeah.
We don't even have a nice sign yet.
Yeah, sorry, priorities. So I brought your future child here to talk to you a little bit about what Princeton's going to be.
Why didn't you bring your own future child?